Welcome to another live Tuesday night with your pals here at No Brainer. We are live tonight on Facebook, YouTube, and X, trying it all out, checking it all out. Let us know if you're out there. Say hi. Jump on in the conversation. I know we're live on YouTube. I just got
Cool.
the email telling me we are.
Yep. X seems to be okay.
Good. And I know
X
you can
is
never
good.
find Facebook. And
Yeah, I don't
so
know.
I listened to this morning. I was listening to my coach on Clubhouse. That's where I was on, and that's where I got the idea to try it. So I'm gonna have to work on that. I don't know. We're on Clubhouse also, guys. If you're on Clubhouse, we're a No Brainer show. It's a room. I don't know how it works. I'm just trying to figure this all out. So
Hmm.
it's just another platform to be on. It's an audio platform. Did you see the text today? We're on Apple.
Yeah.
That was
So
me and Laura spent a good time on the phone trying to figure it out, and all of a sudden it appeared, and all the shows uploaded to Apple.
okay.
So we're now on Apple, Spotify. Let me actually read the list of the places we are. Um, I think it's kind of cool. I say. But anyway, so we're on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Audible, Player FM, Deezer, and Boomplay. Boomplay. I don't know what
Deezer.
Boomplay is. Obviously, those are all podcasting platforms, and we are on them. Plus, we're live on Facebook, X, and Ubatuba. Ubatuba. Yeah, I just
Facebook
switched over to.
still Facebook still blows my mind because I can never even find the stream on here.
Right.
This is I don't know. Even when I go to more live, it says past live videos, no videos to show.
Well, I just
So
checked
it
that X, and I see that we're live. Ooh, that's a good looking camera I got going on there. That's a clean picture.
hold on.
So, like I said, if you're on the socials, follow us everywhere.
Why is this You sure YouTube isn't under your personal one? Or not YouTube, sorry. Facebook.
It is under my personal one. I can't go to that. I had to. So when I
I
blue
see.
checked marked it, it blue checked marked that one too. And I need to drop, I dropped it. So I'm waiting for it to just cycle through. I don't know why it doesn't go live on a Facebook. I don't know. That's something I have to look into. But I tried to add it on today on Libsyn, and it would not allow me to add the no brainer page, just allowed me to add my personal page.
Hmm.
Yeah. And since my personal page is attached to my no brainer page or vice versa, that's why it's there.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I had,
Even
interesting conversation this morning when I was on my coach Mark's podcast this morning. I was not a guest, I was just listening. Um I was trying to figure out this clubhouse thing, and I got on there, and they had a really interesting conversation. It was a pre-show, like, what would you do type thing, and I thought, well, let me bring that to our show tonight and something we can discuss. Um, I guess our in-house guest is not feeling. He's under the weather tonight, so it's just me and you. But if Chris shows up, he can show up. I also invited our other buddy Daniel, but he's on the road. He ain't gonna show up.
is he at where is he at?
He's in Colorado.
Okay.
He sent
Okay.
me a video from Telluride yesterday. That's a cool looking little
Telluride.
town,
Okay.
Telluride. And I'm gonna go to our YouTube. Are you on our YouTube page?
No.
Someone needs to monitor it to watch if people start
All right, I'll monitor it.
texting or chatting.
Okay. I'll put it up on mine.
Yeah, I just
So
pulled it up too.
message.
Oh, I got to learn how to mute things. All right, hold on. Why is this not letting me mute? There we go. Now I muted it. Okay, perfect. it was talking back. It was like a couple seconds delay, and I'm like, why am I hearing myself in my head?
Yeah, YouTube is delayed.
Facebook's delayed also.
Is that like a censorship thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
But how do they censor some? I mean, I guess never mind. I guess AI can pick up your whole script now, and I guess that can all be automated now, right? It just doesn't need to be someone actually like behind the camera, like with a push button, just like
The dump button, we had those in the radio station, the dump button. So when the guest came in and said something stupid, you caught it because we had a 6-second delay,
right. So then you could bleep it.
which is really funny because radio's live, but in my mind it was going out as I was talking, but I think there was always a little delay. Whatever. We also had the dump button for callers, so when we have callers come in, I recorded my callers before I put them on the air. I never put anybody live on the air. I didn't like doing live with callers because you never knew what kind of idiot bamboozled was gonna, say.
Well, that's pretty standard practice. I mean, I remember like anytime we would call in, like we wouldn't hear it till, a couple minutes later, next segment or whatnot.
Right. I usually, depending on what I was doing, if it was a giveaway or something like that, I would answer the phone during a song and just quickly record it. And we had an editing machine. Now, this is back in the early 90s, and it was a digital editing machine. It was pretty cool. I could change around where you talked and move things and make it say what I wanted it to say, the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back 20 years, um the radio DJ is really like a master mixologist. Like I just remember being in the studio one time with one of our local stations downtown, and like these guys, yeah, they could talk about nothing forever, but like their technicality, their skill, their gift was like they could just move sound bites anywhere, and it was crazy. Like one of them was the talker, and one of them was more of the editor, and that guy was so good with a multi-track soundboard, was unbelievable.
Yeah, I
So
was
everything was
not
so
blessed
fast.
with a co-host on radio. It was just me by myself. So I had to do everything during commercials or a long music set. I would if I had to go to the bathroom, I would put on like 5 or 6 songs so I knew I had time. And and actually we had a digital jukebox that if I wanted to, I could literally have it play 3 songs, do the commercial, go to the next song and play it. And I didn't have to be in there for that. But there was times that I actually had to go live. They had to hear me talk. Top of the hour, they had to hear the call station, the station call letters and all that stuff. So
And to make sure you were awake.
I didn't work the night shift. I worked the evening, so I was awake.
Doesn't matter, right?
No. I mean, I usually if I wasn't on air, I was either in the bathroom or out in the garage smoking a cigarette. We had a garage at the station where they parked the van, and it was a warehouse building that they turned into a radio station. So it had the warehouse in the back and then the office in the front. And so the garage, I would always pull my truck in there because I didn't want to leave it outside it because it always rained. And B, because I didn't want to leave it outside because we weren't in the nicest neighborhoods up in Ocala.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
what were you saying about Mark's podcast intro that you did?
Oh, so have you seen? So so his podcast is dedicated and geared more towards podcasters and helping them grow and build and all that. And so he talked this morning. Have you seen the Powerball? What it's up to?
Okay.
It's up to $1.2 billion. If you
Right.
won the Powerball, would you like send your podcast to the moon, like skyrocket it 3 times, 4 times? What would you do? Or would you just stop podcasting or whatever, whatever it might be? And there were some good answers. I mean, I of course said I'm building a studio and flying my guests in. And obviously I'd be able to afford guests at that time, more highfalutin
Well, you
guests.
would you would have to jump straight to very high profile people and pay them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I also said I'd like to build several studios so people could do podcasts or learn how to podcast, and it would be like a podcast school and teach
They
people how
have
to.
they have I don't know if all of them are schools, but there are public podcast areas, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, okay.
They probably have them in Orlando. Like you can go there, rent the
Like a
room for
studio, like
yeah.
you can rent a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, would you be able to rent it and have an editor or a engineer with you, or would you have to just do your own thing? Or
Not sure, but they
yeah.
do. I know that is a thing.
So I would make it optional. If you were a podcast and you just needed a place, you could rent it for X amount of dollars, just you. Or if you wanted us to include an engineer who did your sound and sound effects and all that stuff, I would that would be the next price.
$800 an hour. Sound engineers aren't cheap.
No, not at
So
all.
it's just the question is just solely if you won the Powerball, would you keep doing your podcast essentially?
What would
Not
you do?
work
Yeah, what would you do?
in general?
I would continue my podcasting for sure. It would probably be when I was home here, I would definitely have a really nice studio and we would do everything live from the studio. But if I was obviously on the road with the RV with the wife, I would have this was a cool thing I heard. A lady she said she would buy an RV toy hauler and turn the back part, the toy hauler part into a studio. And I was like, now that's a heck of an idea.
So then what, you just go to your guest essentially?
Or you just do like we do.
Right, but you would probably go to your guest at that point.
I could. Yeah.
Right.
Do live
Like
on location podcasts. Hey,
yeah.
I'm at so and so's.
Like, hey Kid Rock, I have candy, get in the back of my trailer.
Yes. Come hang out with me. Because how close is Kid Rock to where you grew up?
2.5 hours.
Oh, okay. So you've never seen his house. You never went up to it.
No.
Huh.
Nor would I.
It's a
Nor would I.
replica. It's a replica of the White House.
I think he lives primarily in Tennessee now.
Well, did you ever see that? Well, I don't know if you ever saw pictures of it, but the house he has in Michigan is a replica of the White House.
Could be, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
I
I would interview Kid
I like
Rock.
to see celebrities as human beings, and like I'm just kind of. It's not that it's not cool. I think it's incredible, but like I don't want to be so interested that it kind of like I don't know, bugs them. Even though I guess that's what you sign up for, right? If you're a public figure, you sign up for that. So I don't like when they bitch about it, but I also don't like treating them different. If that makes sense.
So when I used to tour, that's where I really learned. I mean, I've never been really starstruck, but when I toured and did security for it all, that's where I really learned. They're humans like everybody else.
Obviously.
I was sitting there. One of my favorite celebrities that I did security for was Ted Nugent. He was just a salt of the earth, kind of down to earth, crazy dude. I mean, he's nuts for sure. And we were chatting backstage, and he's like, so what do you think, dude? What do you think of celebrities? Because he's like, you're back here all the time. You meet everybody. And I said, everybody seems to be the same. We all, we're all just humans. We bleed the same. He goes, yeah, everybody puts their pants on the same. I said, oh, so they have midgets and trampolines in their bedroom like I do? And dude, he almost fell off the couch. He was just dying. He's like, now that I did not expect. I'm like, that's how I put my pants on. How do you put your pants on? He's like, you know what? I'm gonna start using that on midgets and trampolines. Yeah. So, Uncle Ted was crazy. He was a good guy. I enjoyed working with him. He was with let's see, when we did it was, I think, Bad Company opened for him. I've seen him so many times with Bad Company and Damn Yankees and all that other stuff that I don't ever remember, what who I saw him with or how or where or when. Because he always toured with the same groups. But
So if you win the Powerball today, okay, you'd build would you move? What would you do exactly? like you have to keep it concise, right? I don't want to hear till you're 87. I want to know like the 10 things you would put in place right away to live a sustainable, happy life.
I would
without-
buy nice piece of land, 25 to 50 acres, somewhere in there. Build a compound. I would definitely have my house, which is going to be a barn dominium because I'd like to park my vehicles in my garage under the house, which would include the RV. I would build, I don't know, I've talked about building tiny homes on it so people can come down and visit, and there's, they got places to stay. They don't have to worry about it. They just be on property. But why build a tiny home? Just get little manufactured homes, and um, little 2-bedroom, 1 bath, or 2-bedroom, 2 bath, and my friends can come down. You don't have to get a hotel. And then I would also have, so when you pull
But
in, I
see, you say that, and I don't think you think deep enough. Here's
oh, I
why.
visualized it. Trust me, I would
Well,
build it so when you
yeah,
pull
I
in.
know, but hear me out. If you let's say you have 10 small homes on your property, whatever, right? People come down, people use them, they're friends, you trust them, no one steals anything, no one damages stuff, blah blah blah. All that aside, you have to maintain those houses. So, you need staff. You need stuff. You need people. You need a personal LLC, and you need staff and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So like it's not like just like I have $1 million, so I'm gonna build $1 million house and coast off into the sunset because that $1 million
Right.
house costs you 40 grand a year just to maintain.
Sure.
So like you have to cover that too. Like if you were to say I would build a 100,000 square foot house, okay, that also means you probably have a staff that you're paying 2 million a year, right? So same
So
with if you build those houses, like they have to be clean, they have to be maintained, they can't just like the houses can't just like be, you know,
right.
uh,
I would have a step, but first of all, yeah, obviously you don't know my wife well enough. She would never want a house bigger than 2,000 square feet, if that.
I was just using that as an
No,
example
no, I
to
get it,
ask
but
how you
I've
would
asked her. I said, "Would
how
you
would you
want?"
tackle the issue of the maintenance of all those houses? What would you do with that with the money in the system?
I would create a business and probably have my kids run it first of all, and they would probably be living on the property too. Um, just because. So here's the vision, and I'll answer that question once I explain the vision. I'd have the family and friends there. When you pull in the driveway, there's a big in the middle. It's a big circular drive. The houses are spread out, obviously, and then the big main house is there. And in the middle of the circular drive is going to be like what do you call them? Not a gazebo, but like a big pavilion.
Pavilion.
Yeah, I'd have a pavilion there. That's where we'd all hang out. There'd be fire pit, and we'd be able to barbecue and eat out there and hang out and do all that stuff as a family or a group. Okay. And I would make sure my kids were working and taking care of stuff. That's one thing I will tell you this much. If I was to get $1 billion after taxes, what am I going to get? 500 million or whatever?
No, you're still gonna get 700-800 million.
Okay, whatever. I would not give my kids money till I was dead. They would be taken care of. Their bills would be paid. They would have brand new cars, houses, all that stuff. I'm not giving them money till I'm dead. I'm not going to spoil them. You still have to work. You still got to go. You still got to do something. Now, work for me, it's a whole different ball game because I'm going to have a fleet of vehicles. You just use the vehicles. The gas is covered. The insurance is covered. You don't have to worry about those bills. You don't want to come live on the compound. I hate using that word because it sounds like a cult.
Sounds like a cult.
Yeah. You don't want to live in the community. That's fine. Then I will buy you a house where you want to live and I'll buy you a car, but you got to work. I'm not going to give you money. And then once I'm dead, then they can split it up nicely. Actually, once Lori Ann and I are dead. So I'm kind of got the mentality like Shaq, where people are like, "Man, your kids are spoiled or blah blah blah, whatever." And Shaq's like, "That's my money. That's not theirs." And he makes sure you know they don't get anything. I think his ruling is they don't get money or things paid for till they have a college degree. I think that's what he said in an interview once I saw him. My
Hmm.
kids are all grown up. They're all going to be married. So I'd make sure they're, and I'm sure some of them want to live there. Why wouldn't you want to go work where your bills are taken care of? You live on the property, you just clean up, just like, so my partner and I are opening up a glamping venue in North Carolina. we will have to hire someone to stay up there and make sure when people check in and check out, the tents are clean and ready, and make sure that things are taken care of. Like if some like, hey, the bathroom's not working, well, you got to go fix the bathroom, you know. So we'll have to hire people for that too. So we understand. I mean, I understand the houses aren't going to take care of themselves, and I'm not going to go clean them. That's not my job. But I would definitely I'd have someone, you know, someone in the family. One of my boys, I'm sure would want it, especially if they know they're, you know, they're going to live on the property and their kids can grow up. And now the grandkids, that'll be a whole different ballgame. I'll probably spoil them rotten. Although I would want them to be smart and you know smart and well taken care of, but not spoiled rotten to where they're, you know, like the only really spoiled rotten kids are like Paris Hilton that I can think of, or somebody like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you and your wife won the Powerball, would
Mm-hmm.
you drop everything and just go travel the world?
Yeah.
Would you keep your house as your stomping ground, like this is my layover place, or you're just like that's it?
I would keep the house, and I would probably build like a really nice, but not necessarily really large house on a good piece of land, like in Georgia or somewhere like where people leave you alone a little bit.
Yep.
Um, and then I would probably buy like a timeshare, like in southern France. You know, not nothing crazy, but like something in Nice for 500K or whatever. That's like you know, a condo that gets cleaned every, you know, some you don't have to maintain, but you can go there like 3 or 4 months out of the year without issue, you know, without having a visa or whatnot. You can go there for 90 days at a time, 2 or 3 times a year. And then, yeah, I would still have a home base. I wouldn't want it super elaborate, large, just because, more money, more problems, right?
Yep.
I, I mean, just starting another business or doing, like, I would rather have my freedom at that point. I would, no matter how much I believe in myself, I would think that that payout was probably as big or bigger than my natural potential. So I would take at least no, let's say 800 million after taxes.
Yeah. Why
I
not?
would take almost all of that except for maybe 10 million. I would take 790 million. I would invest it, and I would just divide it up like in a few simple ways. So like, let's say I would take 300 million and I would put it in an annuity that averages 8% a year, which is totally realistic, if not more.
Sure.
That's 24 million a year. Okay. So I don't think the average person even knows how to spend 24 million a year, right?
No.
So so I would put the majority in. I mean, there's different investments you can make. Like you can, so the best returns are active investments like businesses, right? You could put 100 grand in a business and make a million next year. That's unheard of. There's really passive investments that are tried and true, like mutual funds, S&P 500, and they might average 5 or 6% a year passively. You don't have to touch them; they're hands off, but they can also lose. Annuities are cool because they can't lose, yet they follow the S&P, so that they end up averaging 5 to 10, if not 12% a year.
Right.
So they're totally hands off and they do distributions and you can choose to reinvest them. But an annuity can double or triple over 10 years, which is pretty crazy, right? If
Correct.
300 million doubles or triples over 10 years, I think you're set for life and you can just keep repeating that. Um, or finally, just like semi active, you know, passive investments, which would be like vending machines, rentals, equipment rental, Bitcoin miners, that kind of stuff. And those type of things can earn you anywhere from 20 to 40% a year, and you have slight hands on.
What
So the
about
big thing for me would be to get hands off of stuff and put my money to work in the most safe, aggressive, hands off ways possible, which if you're someone who says you have that much, an annuity can kind of just basically take care of you and the rest of your offspring for the rest of all time till the world ends. And all you have to do is get a good lawyer, set up a trust, an LLC, umbrella company, and max out your whole life insurance and just say, this person can take this much from the annuity each year. They can take it for these reasons. When they die or I die, it goes into this, you know, bucket that doesn't get taxed, whatever, and it waterfalls down to the next generation. So the number one, I wouldn't give a shit about what my kids, if I had them, or people do with the money, or, you know, I wouldn't buy anyone shit, nothing. I would not buy anyone a flower, okay? But I would give them access to certain annuities and trusts where it's basically, it would say like, hey, Zach, the rest of your life, you're going to make $500K a year off my annuity. And if you spend it all, you make $500K a year. You can choose to work more if you want. Now, if you take $500K a year off my annuity and you spend $200K, that $300K is going to reinvest to make that $500K grow every year. That's your decision at this point. You have a free money printing machine for the rest of your life. If you want to squander, I don't give a shit. Go for it. But you get this portion under annuity. Now you do what you need to do, and then I would just use mine to live off, multiply, and then put stuff in passive investments or venture cap, whatever, just stuff that I really didn't want a whole lot of involvement in day to day.
What about real estate?
I mean, what I would do probably is, do you know what a REIT is, or a REIT? I don't know how to say it, but REIT, real estate investment trust, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
It's basically like a real estate mutual fund where like you buy into a multifamily complex and you get a certain return percentage for it. So in Florida, it's a great area for those, because you can buy into or buy your own apartment complex. And let's say you're not the property manager, you're just the majority shareholder. You can get a return from that. But again, I would weigh that return versus what an annuity gives me versus because even that is semi-passive, right? It's not completely hands-off. Like, that building can go down to natural disasters, can have insurance issues, can have investor issues, can have tenant issues, can have fluctuations in return. So again, I think that real estate is really, really good. I just feel like if you had unlimited money and you didn't want anyone to ever bother you again, there's easier ways to make as much or more without even thinking about it once after you set it all up. So to me, it's more about, if I can get a great return from something really passive, I'd rather have my life back.
So,
and then honestly,
I
think I can, if I'm making, so let's say I put, so 800 million, right? Let's say I took 10 million just to buy everything I needed to pay everything off with. If I took 790 million, and that made 6% a year, which is annuity, which is totally low as snot. 47.4 million a year. Okay. That means my lifestyle every year could be 40 million, and I would still be growing my net worth by 7.4% multiplied by that compound interest.
Sure.
So I think I could live off 40 million. I think actually I could live off 4 million a year. And be very happy, free,
400,000 a year,
low key, wear dingy ass clothes. I wouldn't want anyone to know whatsoever, and I'd go where I want, when I want, how I want, whatever, and that would be it. And that, to me, that's wealth.
I would do very similar things, but I would make sure that I built it to make sure my great grandchildren were taken care of. I would build legacy.
Well, that's why you build trusts and stuff, and you can
everything would be in a trust. That's why I said I would buy everybody a vehicle, put all the vehicles in a trust. They're mine.
But why not give them the power to buy their own vehicle? What if they don't care about a vehicle? Because I mean, vehicles are temporary, right? Like if you buy all Ford Raptor for 120K, I mean, it's not an asset, right? Why wouldn't you just set them up to where they have 600K a year, and if they want a Raptor, it's no sweat off their back to go out and take cash and grab a Raptor?
I mean, if I have $800 million, what does buying 10 Raptors mean to anybody?
Yeah, that's true at that point. But I mean, you can also set it up to where no one will ever have to think about it ever.
And unless you're buying Raptor R's, which I would not buy anyone a Raptor R, they're only 80 grand for Raptor.
Essentially, the concept is the lesser amount you spend up front, the more free you're going to be in terms of money if you set up the investments right.
Well, I mean, LA and I have talked about it. I'd want to help the kids get a house, each of them, because they would want one.
Again, if they had an annuity that paid them $1 million a year, I think they can go get their own house wherever the hell they want, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
it's just like that. I think I'm really anti stuff in terms of empowerment of people, because stuff just ruins people whenever they don't go do it themselves. So like, even though if you have an investment that's going to pay for people's stuff, at least it's a fixed budgeted entrusted income where they have to have discretion and they have to decide if they want to live higher or lower. Whereas if you just, whenever someone gets something, it's a very rare person and circumstance where there's like long-term fulfillment or gratification in that, in terms of it's so temporary, you know? Whereas
Right, but you could give your kid, and I think of my kids, I don't know everybody else's kids, but out of my 6 kids, you could set them up with annuity that pays them 500K a year, let's say,
easily.
right? You got one who's gonna blow through it within a week, and then you
So
got one who's gonna save it and never touch it. I don't
can't
wanna have
control
the
them.
phone call, "Hey, dad, I don't have any money. Can you help me? I owe, I'm gonna lose the house or whatever."
Well,
'Cause
that's why it's a trust and a written contract too. It's like the conditions of having this trust is you never ask me for money because the answer is no.
that's you can't do that with kids.
Well, when you have an annuity where they get 1,000,000 a year, I would feel just fine with doing that, yes, because no kids get that, so
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if
obviously,
my kid can't take an
I don't even play
annuity.
the Powerball, so it's not like I'm gonna win it, so it doesn't
But if
matter.
your kid can't take a $1,000,000, if you let's say your kid's making 50 grand a year right now and you give them $1,000,000 annuity, if they can't live off less than 900K from 50K, they have a problem beyond what you could ever fix. So that's not even parenting at that point. The child has no life experience or skills, they never will.
But you
So
have
at
to
that point, you would
understand
just say, "Forget it, I'm not giving you one, have a nice life."
you have to understand that some kids, and maybe it's the parents' fault, did not they just will go happy and buy everything they want, you know?
Sure.
They're gonna have the house, the game room, and look, if I have an annuity, if my parents set me up with an annuity that paid me $1,000,000 a year, I don't know that I would have blown through $1,000,000. I say that, but
But you know what the
year
wonderful
2 or
thing about
3
it is that it
after
doesn't
year 2 or
affect them at
3,
all.
I'm saying, maybe the first year it would have gotten blown through because I would have bought everything I wanted, but maybe after 2 or 3, that's fine, and then I wouldn't work, and then I just sit around and, next thing you know, "Hey, where's Zach?" "Oh, he's 900 pounds, he's at his house because he hasn't left in 2
But
months
would
for
you
for
rather buy
whatever."
your kid a $120,000 Raptor, or would you rather, if this was possible, buy them a $5,000,000 Raptor producing machine and then crash as many times as you want, bucko. They're gonna come back till you break the. I mean, so my point
I
is like
would
with
I
a
would
cash
rather
stream,
buy.
you can't lose.
No, no,
Like
no, I get that. No, I'm not
like you
arguing
buy
that.
someone a brand new car, it doesn't mean anything to them because it came off a tree. They can crash it tomorrow and just walk up to you without any shame or guilt and just say, "Hey, can buy me another one."
And that's when you
It
say no.
The answer is hell no, but if they have their own setup, that's their decision at all times, so they can't ask you for anything because it's already in place,
Right. No,
you
no,
know?
no, I'm not disagreeing, but I've thought about, like, real estate. I would like to buy 10, 15 homes that are
Mhm.
you can turn into rentals or Airbnbs or something. Guys, they're yours to take care of. You better be the landlord and you better take care of them, and you're going to make every penny off of them. So if you've got a dump and nobody wants to rent it and it sits there empty and you're not making any income, guess whose fault that is? Yours. If you have an Airbnb that you've got 5 stars because it's just pristine, and the people come in, like, we went to the Airbnb in North Carolina. We went in, there was a big basket of candy and chocolates and stuff for us. The people bent over to make it like a very nice experience. you know the Airbnb we stayed in Miami, it was just a house. I mean, there was nothing special about it. And but I felt more inclined, not that we didn't give her a 5-star review, but I felt more inclined to give the guy in North Carolina a 5-star review because it seemed like he was just, like, passionate about us staying at his place.
But are
And
your
so,
kids passionate about
well,
having
that's
it?
that's 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 the conversation. You have to have
So
the hard
why even have the
conversation
conversation when they can chase their own passions? Just say, "Here you go. Do you chase your own
because
passion?"
I don't know.
What's the difference? They can take a house and say it's my passion, lie and burn it down.
Then they don't get nothing.
What's exactly? They can also take an annuity and spend it all, and that's all they get.
Well,
My
I
point is like, why even
because I'd like to
when
be
you have
hands-on with
wealth,
the kid.
why would you do anything to make your life worse?
I would like to be more hands-on with the kids, teach them to make sure that their kids will be teaching their kids.
Right.
So
Right.
everybody's got money and everybody's taken care of. I don't want a bunch of spoiled rich pricks sitting around playing video games all day, smoking weed, vaping, and just next thing I know, I got 3 of them living back in the house because, they pulled on mom's heartstrings, and they're broke, and that's I want them to learn how to
But
make
what if
money.
you had a kid who was smoking weed, playing video games, enjoying their life to the fullest, spending literally living off 50 grand a year of the $1 million annuity, and that's what they love? Amazing.
Yeah,
That's just as responsible as going out and
but
investing. Like you're living the life you want without dependency on the growing standard of you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's
and
their
I get
choice
it.
at that point if they want to screw it up,
I'm
but
just
there's
dealing
only so
with
much they can screw up.
I'm dealing with 6 different personalities, 6 different mindsets, 6 different
Mhm.
things. Plus, then some of them now have spouses, and then one has kids. So, I mean, you got to deal with all that. You want to make sure you set them up for success and teach them and train them. I'm not
Yeah.
just going to say, "Hey, here's $1 million a year. Go do whatever." I
Well,
want
no,
them.
that's why it's structured on a trust and you can
No,
put rules in
I
place.
get the trust, but they have to understand the trust and why the trust works and what they should do for their
No,
children
they don't.
while
They
they
just
built the
have to
trust.
know the rules because if they don't follow the rules, they can't get the money because they don't manage the trust. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I'm a little more hands-on than that. Well, and then again, that's if they can find me, because we'll be in an RV somewhere.
I would use money to fully get away from sinful, like just from people in general, in terms of dealing with like just people in my life that are by default mad at me or just, and it's like, man, I'm doing like, I mean, when I mean say everything, I mean 7 days a week, 18 hours a day, every resting moment. And now think about this, right? I can still have people who don't come at me with a positive attitude. I don't want, like, I'm using money to buy out of that.
Right.
Like, hello, you have a negative attitude? Goodbye. With a smile on a plane, never to be seen again. That to me, like, and that's why, like, I think like loving your kids is one thing, but then I don't know if it has to mix or mesh with the wealth itself, if that makes sense. Like you can have freedom to mentor them and teach them whatever you want, but I guess I would just think you wouldn't want anything to be dependent on any physical material goods at all, period, because it's not possible to teach someone perfect like stewardism and self-management. They kind of have it or they don't at some point. And it's just kind of like if they just trash what you give them, like what's your response to that, right?
I That's a good question.
I'm not giving you any
Probably.
more, and guess what? Now all of a sudden you're such a shitty parent, and the world's gonna know. No, serious, right? Because
But
you create.
if I have $800 million, I really don't care what the world thinks.
No, I know that. Well, you kind of do. You kind of want your kids to love you, right?
If it gets to that point, I no. Nah. If I've spoiled you rotten and taught you how to be a better person and showed you how to grow your money and build a legacy, and you turn around and basically spit on me, nah. I mean, I'm not going to not love them, but I have learned to love from afar, and I have also learned when you love from afar, sooner or later they come back to the fold.
So why not just not set like why not have the setup at all where that's even possible? If that makes sense.
I mean, I
I
get
think
it.
I
No,
think
no,
my
I'm
round
not
circle
arguing
point
the
is I would
point.
want to not even make that a possibility for them to
I
dislike
get the
you.
point, and I don't have an issue with that. I agree, but I'm a little more hands on. I'm a little more hands on. I'm a little more, uh,
That's called love.
yeah. I mean,
Right. But would you wanna do that with anyone who's not your blood that you don't love? Probably not, right?
no, I'm talking. I have 6 kids, so that's enough.
Right. But
I
anyone
mean,
else that you
listen.
did that to would be like the antithesis of what you're trying to accomplish by being free with money,
Well,
right?
now, don't get me wrong. I have best friends who are like thicker, closer to me than actual blood. So I would probably help them out. Now, I don't know that I would set them up with an annuity to make. Maybe I would. Who knows? Maybe they'd be part of the trust. I haven't decided on that. I know that my friends, my true inner circle, my group of closeness, the Burrow boys would they be taken care of? They would not have to worry. That's why I'd like to build that community, because then I got everybody living there. We're all hanging out, having dinner together. I watch a lot of these videos. I don't know if you follow any of these things, but there's a lot of these communities popping up, and families and friends are moving out on land together, and
Mhm.
they barter with each other. They all work the farm together. They all have jobs. But if like they go to each other's house, hey, what are you cooking for dinner tonight? Hey, we're coming over. We're going over to your house. Blah blah blah. And I just think, why not build my own little community where I can allow and not allow anyone to live there that I want or don't want.
So how would you handle it when you have a best friend your entire life and then you give them a house and the deal is to work the land and work and sustain, and they tell you they demand something else and you say no, that wasn't the deal, and now they hate you for the rest of your life?
I'd cross that bridge, but I don't have
But
any
did you
choice.
know even good people are that is actually human nature.
Sure. Yeah. And
And that's
that's
why
but see, that's the chance
it's
I have to take.
right, but inevitably if you have 10 friends, 3 or 4 will most certainly, if not more, exercise human nature.
I don't have 10 friends that are that close that I would do that with. So
Well, whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's human nature where
Al,
no
I have
matter what, no
as
matter how good someone is, like if you once you give something that wasn't earned, the gratitude isn't always on the reception of that gift. It's the resentment of it being taken away sometimes. And I mean, look at any professional athlete, right? Look at Antoine Walker, Boston Celtics. Remember him?
no.
Mid 90s superstar, $120 million contract for 10 years, a bankrupt. Okay?
Look at MC Hammer.
Right. Bankrupt. Those are all guys who took care of their friends.
Yeah, but
All
they had
guys,
entourages of hundreds of they didn't have
well, not hundreds, dozens, but
but
and you
still.
know what happened when the money ran out? Everyone left. And I'm not and not all of these people were paid acquaintances from the start. A lot of these people were childhood friends.
Yeah. I mean, I
It's like
get it.
it's like when you turn 23 or 4, let's say, and you decided I'm done going to the bar and all of a sudden you don't have any friends,
23.
whatever it may be, right? But people that were your good friends when you were drinking and then when you weren't, they're not there. Those I don't see any of those people in my life, and there's tons of them, as bad people at all. I don't see anything negative about them, but they're all gone. Everyone.
No, I had some friends.
Everyone's gone.
I would say I had maybe one close friend that when I quit drinking, we just went our separate ways. But these are people now. These are I would consider my brothers that I've known since, sixth grade. We've known each
Mhm.
other for 40 years. We've been through thick and thin, loaned each other money when we needed it, helped each other when, the other one, whatever it might be. I would be very, very hard pressed to think that one of them would turn. Now, does that mean a spouse might not like something that's going on? Well, then you sit down with your spouse and you chat with them about what the agreement was, and if they don't like the agreement, they don't have to sign. I'm just, trying to be a bro and say, "Hey, I'm taking care of you. We took care of each other. Let's have fun together for the rest of our life and just be grumpy old men sitting on the front porch when we're in our 90s." And I just I don't know. I have a different don't get me wrong. If I earned, uh, inherited $1 billion, whatever it might be, the majority of it is definitely going to be invested, whether it's in annuities, real estate, the market. The market scares me. It's great right now, but there's times when it's not so great,
Well, that's
you
why
know.
people do annuities because it's protected from that.
Yeah, yeah. Like if I was to retire tomorrow or at the end of the year, I would take my 401k and give it to you to put in an annuity
Yeah, right. And
and
then
just
that
let it
would
grow.
yeah.
I mean, I don't have a lot of money in my 401k. It's not like there's millions of dollars in there,
That's what
but
we did with a couple of my parents' CDs. They were earning at one point 5 or 6% every 11 months they came up, and they were coming, interest come down, so they're at like 3-4%. We threw a bunch of that in annuities, and it's about 12% a year. It's crazy, and it's just a way better, easier investment, just a much simpler way to get a return without still having to manage it in any shape.
Did you have them put everything in a trust?
No, it's their money. It's not going to me.
No. So I will put everything.
You mean when they die, does their money go in a trust for us?
No.
Oh,
Is there possessions, their house, their cars in a trust right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because that's something I'm looking into because I understand the protection of it and the tax ramifications and stuff like that.
I don't know if it is. I forget what the estate tax is now. I think it's up to 5 million. I don't think it's a million anymore. And I also know they own everything they have outright. They don't have a penny of debt on anything they've ever had. So
Are you talking about
I don't
estate
know.
tax in Michigan where they're at or down here?
No, there's a federal state tax that basically says when you die, if you have over X amount of million, you're subject to this kind of taxes if you don't gift it a certain way. And it used to be like $1 million bucks.
Because in Florida there is no inheritance tax.
Okay, but federally it was $1 million and now it's 5 million. So if you're giving away over 5 million, you're going to pay federal taxes on it.
Right.
So I don't think
I'm not
100%.
I don't know, to be honest with you, about federal tax and stuff like that. I just
think the
I
thing
just
with the
know
thing with the trusts aren't really meant to shelter taxes. They're meant to structure how you can use money.
yeah, but you can put your stuff in a trust and it protects it against
Well,
if
that
I-
would be like an LLC umbrella company. So you would incorporate and put your stuff in your corporation, and then your trust would be your trust is essentially the constitution of how those proceeds can be used. So like you can go to your kids essentially and say, okay, mom and dad die. We have $1 million in this LLC. How everything will be liquidated into that LLC, and then you can use that $1 million tax free. And these are the things you can use it on. You can do it to start a business up to 100 grand, buy a house up to 500 grand, whatever it may be. That's like your constitution of what you can do with those funds.
well, okay. Because I've been doing some research on trusts versus wills. And
Well, right. I know what you're saying. Yeah, trust is just
protect you
essentially
far
like
greater than a will.
what's that?
Trust will protect my kids far greater than a will
Correct.
because it can go into probate and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and wills can be interpreted.
Yes.
Yeah, wills can have subjectivity to them. Trusts are pretty cut and dry, and they have like a legal person who's actually managing them per se.
So we actually will be sitting down with an attorney to talk to them about the trust. We're going to put the house in the trust, the vehicles in the trust. Everything that is considered asset is going in the trust. That way, heaven forbid something happens to Lorianne and I, there's no questions. There's 6 kids and it gets divvied up properly.
Right.
And they don't have to worry about getting jammed up.
That's just essentially saying your assets are going to be liquidated here, and this is what you can use it for. So typically when you have a trust, you also have an LLC. Because you want the LLC to own the assets from a tax standpoint. And then you want that to be able to be funded through a trust, which basically says, here's how you can use it, et cetera. And your will can guide that too. But it's just essentially like a constitution of how those things can be used.
Mark says, Mark jumped in the chat room on Clubhouse and he said, it's working. He can hear us both. He said there is feedback on your end.
My end?
Yeah. He said there's a lot of feedback or echo coming from Derek's audio. So I don't know if it's too close to your speaker or what it is.
No, I'm not close to it at all.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
no.
I mean, my phone isn't too far from my phone, from my
Now I have my phone plugged into my computer, so maybe it's running through the microphone. So maybe next time you plug yours into the computer and see if that works.
You have your phone plugged into your computer?
Yes. USB.
Maybe. I feel like I'm overloading my computer with USB though. Well, seriously, that's why sometimes the
So-
camera will fail because I have the camera, the mic, wireless mouse,
I bought the-
charger, and this really high wattage ring light here up here. So
I bought the,
sometimes when I have to reset, it's because it's taken on too much.
I bought the so my mini Mac is on a USB pad, so you don't plug directly into the mini Mac, you plug into the USB pad and it I don't know what it does. Anyway, something they sold me. Maybe I got sold a bill of goods. Who knows?
I don't know.
I am very, very happy with the Mini Mac, though. I was not sure, but it's a great thing. My next two investments, I'm going to get dual monitors so I can look at different things when we're talking on the camera, and then I can look at YouTube instead of clicking back and forth. And I want to get a camera because I don't know if you know, I told you we upgraded on the Riverside. I put the live in, so it's supposed to record in 4K, but the camera I have, it's telling me it won't record in 4K. It doesn't do it. It's not whatever.
It did say something on the studio that because Logitech doesn't do well in 4K because you have a 1080p, and
Yep.
then if you look at mine's doing 2160p and yours is 1080. So it is. I think in mine's supposed to be 4K. I don't know, whatever. But
Right.
point is, I think it's sharper than yours. It looks sharper in Riverside, but it always, whenever we publish and stuff, it looks completely different in my opinion. So
I think it looks good once the video is edited and cleared up.
see,
Because
now when I go to live on YouTube, your camera looks better than mine.
right, which doesn't make any sense because you
No.
have a better camera.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
But I want to get a nice camera and get it on its own stand. And this camera, you can't see it, obviously, I'm pointing at it, but it's just mounted on top of my computer, and I just want to, that's the next investment. And I think I've looked at them, and you can get them as I hate the word cheap, but as affordable as maybe a couple $100, $300-$400. You don't have to go spend $800 on a camera. I just want to be able to control it.
That's like, it's kind of like the Shure microphone. Shure's kind of the only reasonably priced, high quality.
Sure.
Just in camera too, I think Logitech's kind of like one of the only reasonably priced, high quality where the name actually matters quite a bit.
Well, when I built the studio in here and I started buying stuff, I really focused more on the audio side of it. That's why I bought the soundboard, because at that point in time, now this is a great, maybe we can transition to this a little bit. That's the argument, audio guys versus video guys. But I talked to a guy the other day who has a very successful podcast who did audio, and he's now gung-ho about YouTube. So he's all about video. So
that's because YouTube's really the only platform that's growing.
Well, that was one of the questions we talked about this morning. What if you could only monetize and run your show on one platform?
YouTube.
I said YouTube.
YouTube.
I definitely think YouTube is the way to go. You can do so much with.
You are frozen in time, dude.
That's why. Okay. Did you lose me for a minute?
I did. Now you're back.
Yeah. I'm on the wrong Wi-Fi channel.
Now you're feeding back all like crazy.
Do it.
You got.
I'm going to go back to Spectrum. I think
you got your YouTube off mute.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, you sorry, you
I
have
didn't
a
touch
major. You've got like an echo with a 4-second delay.
I have no idea why.
I have no idea why.
That echo is off and everything else is off. Okay, I'm trying to tell you.
Maybe it's just Clubhouse doing it now. It could just be Clubhouse. Yeah, I think it's Clubhouse.
Do you have your phone muted so you can't hear Clubhouse?
Yeah. But it's really weird. Like, even when it's muted, I'll still, it like still once in a while comes through. I don't know. It's really weird. I can't explain it.
Am I still echoing?
No.
Okay. So back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by my terrible internet. I swear I'm gonna tell AT&T to come.
Remember, yours was so good.
AT&T swore it was good, and so I had a guy come out and look at it the other day, and he says it's.
I swear it's good. Please just buy it.
No, I mean, it gives me a better signal in the house, which doesn't make sense. But anyway, I'm going to go back to Spectrum, I think, because this is crap. ticks me off. But I had to put boosters in my house because the guy said because of my
Yep.
block wall, that's why. And I was like, but wait, my Spectrum, I never had a problem out on the patio or my driveway. So why are you guys giving me a bunch of malarkey with fiber? I mean, I've got
I have
great
Spectrum,
signal.
and I've had boosters for quite a long time.
Really?
Probably 5 years, yeah, no matter what, Michigan here, previous house. Yep. I have what's called Eero, EERO, it's on Amazon. And,
Yes. Yeah.
you can get a professional for, like, maybe 100, $200, I don't even know, 6,000 square feet, and then, you essentially just, plug each one in, only one has to be LAN connected to your modem, and the other 2 run wireless, and then they
That's what I have. I got 3.
yeah, and then they just, signal off each other, and I mean
So the guy suggested that I get a take one of mine that I have the 3 and put it out on my patio.
I don't think your house isn't too big for 3.
I know. That's why I was like, whatever. That's anyway. We'll see.
Are they their extenders, or did you buy them?
I bought them. I went to Walmart and bought the
Okay.
whatever the top brand was. I forget it was.
Something's not right.
It was
Ah,
what is it called? Starts with a D, I think. Yeah, Deco, DECO.
never heard of them.
Yeah. Well, it was Walmart, whatever. But anyway, what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by the stupid Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I spent the money because there's 2 schools of thought and argument always. One is audio and one is video. And like we both agreed, YouTube is the way to go because video is blowing up. But I have a friend who only listens to our podcast on Spotify because he listens to it when he's driving. He doesn't want to play YouTube while he's driving. He'll put on Spotify.
For sure.
So I mean,
100%.
you get both people. So who knows?
But YouTube if you had a bajillion dollars to invest and you could do it on all platforms or YouTube, you'd want to do all of it on YouTube. Because it's just so much greater of a return of monetization. So, like, you would want to invest it all on YouTube, and then just like we do with Libsyn and distribute to the other ones, that's fine.
Right.
For people who want to hear that, but by far and large, YouTube.
Right. I would not put all my eggs in the basket for an audio platform.
If I had to put eggs in a basket, it would be YouTube any day.
Right.
Just because.
That's why we have almost 8,000 subscribers on YouTube.
YouTube's unstoppable.
We need to get 10,000 subscribers.
That'd be nice.
I don't know what you're doing over there slacking. Will you get your Russian bots back on the job, please?
I do the Google Ads promo stuff, and it works good, but
no, we got blamed for paying people, remember?
What's that?
We got blamed for paying people to be our
I mean, I do ad promotion, but it's real Google Ads. Google owns
that's
YouTube.
An ad. So. That's not paying people.
Right.
I finally had to block that guy because anyway, ignorance is
bliss.
Was
he still coming at you?
Yeah.
We should have him on the show.
No.
Oh, that would be awesome, Zach.
Yeah, he's a jerk off.
That would be amazing.
You want to see my jersey come out, don't you?
You realize we can change his name to whatever we want in the studio.
Oh, so I know.
We could have like fuckface. I mean, that'd be great, right? Talk about the ultimate revenge. And then we could come out with I don't know, we could put like masks on or something and just completely alienate and annihilate.
Yes. I could actually.
I could talk to him like this. Listen here. Are you ready for your dissipation?
Anyway. My daughter was trying to call me, sorry. My mom was saying some interesting things today, so I'm having everybody check in on her.
Oh, does she have dementia?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's not she doesn't forget. Like I'll call her and she knows exactly who it is. I mean, it's not that kind. It's like she's
Well,
not good with dates and times and stuff. Like,
that just
oh,
means she's in the early stages.
yeah,
Eventually,
yeah.
it does.
Well, she's 91.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that partial dementia just means you're in early stages of
Sure,
dementia. That's
we
all.
know, we
Like,
know.
yeah. Have
I'm
you
I'm
seen?
not.
I don't
She's
feel. I
lived it.
feel. I feel very bad for you because have you ever seen someone succumb to dementia fully until they perish?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just absolutely all. It's to me, it was horrifying,
Well,
and I always
I
felt
say
so
I
for them.
don't know that it was dementia or Alzheimer's. I don't
Well,
know, to be honest, the difference.
dementia's a lot. Dementia starts like 5, 6 years before you go. Alzheimer's is like quick. You're just forgetting stuff like really, really fast. And dementia is like this slow eating away of everything until finally your dementia is really, really slow mentally, and then usually when it finally hits the physical, it turns pretty fast, and that's where things get ugly, and it's just a very disturbing, not fun thing to go through for anybody. So I feel for you. It's just not going to be. Eventually, it's not going to be the funnest moments of your life, you know. And thank
Well,
God she's had a long, nice, awesome life, but it's just not a. It's a good way to go for the person themselves, but for the family, it's really tough.
so
It's
I
tough on
wasn't
the
really gonna
family.
go into it, but she
Yeah.
uh she told both me and my sister that she didn't get out of bed yesterday, the nurse said, the whole day till dinner time. She just was doing her thing. She wanted to be left alone.
Hmm.
And she said that's because she was in heaven with my dad fishing. And I said, then if you were in heaven, why are you here now? And she said, well, I had some work to catch up on, and God gave me one more day, so I'm leaving. Tonight's my
Do
last night.
you think she had a near death experience?
It's my mother. I think she was in heaven. I don't disbelieve her.
Have you read that book by John Burke,
No.
Imagine Heaven?
No, but I
Have you
saw.
seen the Sean Ryan show where he's on there and he's talking about like he basically has just studied thousands of NDEs and they're all the same. Like you leave your body, you know what's going on.
Right.
You go to heaven, you feel the love, and then there's for some reason you're not ready, you know, and God sends you back and you go back to your body and you remember it. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, now this is the point of life.
Right. So I don't know. And listen, it's my
Sounds
mother,
like she had an NDE, man.
it's my mom, and I love her, and it's gonna break my heart, but she has had a phenomenal life.
That's great.
And if she's ready to go and it's her time, as I told my sister and my wife, I am not selfish. I as much as I'd want her to stay because I call her, I talk to her every day,
Mhm.
But if it's her time to go, I get it.
Is your dad still alive?
No, he died 24 years ago.
Is your mom with anyone in your family up there?
No, she lives in a assisted living place.
Okay, okay, okay.
My sister used to live close to her, but then they moved to Atlanta. So
When my grandma passed away, or at least the last 5 years of her life, really, on the early stages of the dementia, you know, she was before she was in assisted living. It was tough, like on my grandpa and stuff, like just
right,
because she would go to sleep on the living room floor. She would get out of bed in the middle of the night, just just crazy weird stuff. And it was tough. And then when she got an assisted living, he was there every day, right? But like that driving there and back every day paled in comparison to
right.
trying to be the caretaker for something irrational like that. So I remember that he was really tired, and now how many years later he's still alive. So
Well,
it's like
my
20
dad
years
died
ago.
from asbestos or mesothelioma.
Oh yeah.
He was a kid. He worked at a factory when he was like 14, and I'm sure the town he grew up in they made asbestos there, and so I'm sure when they used to say it looked like it was snowing and it was the asbestos flakes coming down, they'd be out there trying to catch them and stuff. And she so anyway, he when he was on his deathbed, it was very interesting. He and I had a great conversation. I spent a lot of time with him. I let my mom sleep, so I would sleep in the chair in his room, and he would wake up at like he was on morphine, and he was doped up pretty good, but every once in a while he'd just wake up and just start talking to me, and we had some great conversation throughout the night. But when it was time to go, he was with my mom and he had a smile and just he knew where he was going. So it sucked because he was so young. He didn't get to meet all his grandkids or my new wife or anybody, anything like that. But it was his time to go. And my mom has said since then, 24 years ago, every day pretty much she's ready to go. She's like, I've had enough here. Let's go. And I used to joke, I said, nah. I said, you're going to be about 100 before you go. And now she's 91. She'll be 92 in May. And I told her today, I said, Mom, you're supposed to make it to 100. What are you doing? She's like, I'm good. I don't need to. I said, okay. If you're going to go, go. So she's like telling me, you need to come up here this weekend. Your sister's going to be up here. I need you up here to help her. And I go, if you're going to heaven, why am I coming? Because the only reason I'm coming up there is to see you. And she's like, no, you got to help your sister pack everything. I'm like, Mom, we have till the end of October. They give us time if you pass away to get your stuff out. So relax. I'm not rushing up there. If you're not going to be there, I'm not coming. So I told her, I said, me and my mom have a very great relationship. We're very sarcastic to each other. We're very snarky with each other, and we just have fun. We make fun of each other and just have a good time. And I said, if I call you tomorrow and you answer the phone, I'm going to give you a hard time. You told me you were going to heaven, so why are you here?
Do you know when you're going up there yet?
No. I had thought about going sometime in the middle of September. I looked at plane tickets actually to fly up this weekend, and with a car rental, everything had been like $600. And I'm like, dude, no, it's not worth it just to fly up on a Sunday and come back on a Monday or Tuesday. It's no. And heaven forbid.
What did you look for? What dates did you look for?
This Sunday I would leave Sunday and then fly back Monday.
Well, look a little further in advance. You'll get.
Well, obviously, I know that, but my mom was trying to make me come up there this weekend, and I'm like, but wait, you're not even going to be there allegedly. So I did, however, because this is my mother. My mother, if anyone's going to hear from God, clear as day, it would be my mother. The apostle would definitely. She's got an open connection. They have each other's cell phone. They're on speed dial, and I said, if anyone's going to hear from God, it's my mom. So my daughter was asking me, Dad, do you believe? Is she in her right mind? And I said, I've never heard her so excited and happy in a long time. And she's like, what does that mean? I said, if she thinks she's going to heaven, she's ecstatic. She's ready to go. So let her go. What am I going to argue with her for? I mean, I love my mom. She's my best friend.
Great, right?
Huh?
I mean, that's good, right?
Yeah. She's not scared. I don't want her. So as you were talking about dementia, I said, that's what I don't want her to deal with. I'd rather her go sooner than later so she doesn't have to deal with that. And then she forgets who she is or forgets her bladder starts working without asking for permission, and she forgets who I am or my sister is, or because my grandmother, my mom's mom, towards the end, she never forgot who I was or my daughter. And but like my mom would go visit her and she was just nasty to my mom. She was just mean and nasty. And that wasn't my grandmother whatsoever. And it was kind of sad towards the end because she was just angry old Italian lady, which I don't want my mom to become, a grumpy old Italian lady. So, on the good side, she has lived a fantastic life, has been blessed. Oh my gosh. If you ever, I mean, if I could ever get her on the podcast, which she wouldn't even know how to turn a computer on, but
it might not go so well.
she would tell you that her life has been the most amazing, blessed life ever. So, the joke was, my mom can't go to heaven till they finish the fourth chair. And they're like, the fourth chair? I go, yeah, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and then my mother. So there's 4 chairs. So once they finish that chair, then she's allowed to go. Matter of fact, Death has walked past her doorway so many times, he's scared to go in her room. He's scared of my mom. He's tried. He tried to take her out with a stroke. He tried a couple other things. She's got AFib, you know, blah blah blah. But I always people are like, "How's your mom's health?" I was like, She runs on olive oil. She's fine. There's nothing wrong with her. She got that Mediterranean blood." But on a good note, this is a cool topic. Not that death is a cool topic, but on a good note, how about you going up to Michigan for your grandfather's 100th birthday? That's fantastic.
I know,
100
it's
years
crazy.
old. 100 years old. I mean,
On the 11th.
all right. So he's seen some things, huh?
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
So he
like
was born obviously in 1926.
25.
Oh, 25. Okay, yeah, duh. I thought it was
Mhm.
26. So he's a little bit older than my mom. My mom's like I said, 91. She was born in 34.
Yeah, so you would have seen everything. I mean, in fact, growing up, it'd be in the Great Recession.
He lived through the Great Depression, didn't he?
Yeah,
Did you said he was in the military, right? Coast Guard?
yeah, yeah. At 17,
But did he go to World War II?
yeah, he was on Normandy Beach during D-Day, dude.
The Coast Guard went to That's why I'm asking because I was
Have you
confused
seen
when you said
Saving
that.
Private Ryan?
I don't know that the Coast Guard was on. I know what Normandy Beach is. I didn't know the
If
Coast Guard left
he
America.
didn't storm the beach. He was in the boats dragging dead bodies out of the water.
Okay. So he wasn't in the Navy, he was in the Coast Guard.
Correct.
Because the Coast Guard normally, now obviously it's a war, so I can't speak. I don't know the history as best. Maybe you know it better. But normally the
Yeah,
Coast
I
Guard
do
is
because
here
he
to
told me.
No,
And he
but
didn't
the
talk to
Coast Guard
anyone
is
about
here
it.
to protect our coast. They don't
Yep.
leave our coast.
No,
That's
they
normally
left.
what the Navy does.
They left.
That's crazy. I mean, so he was over there in Normandy.
Operation Neptune.
That's crazy.
The code name for amphibious assault and naval gunfire support operations. So yes, they were in active combat.
Yeah, that's the Navy. 100%.
And rescue operations, pulling hundreds of soldiers from the water.
So he was with the Navy. He was attached to a Navy. Do you know what ship he was on?
Snake Eyes.
That was the ship?
Number 1, Snake Eyes. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Number 1.
Was that a battleship?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it was aircraft carrier battleship.
They actually have pictures of it that had been reprinted and given to him years ago. And this is before like photo and digital editing was good. And you can actually see what looks like a ghost figure of a radar on the ship, like a dish
Right.
that they photo edited out. We're talking like in the 90s that they photo edited out for like back in the day, I think actually during the war, so that it wouldn't like it was like confidential that they had that type of radar on or sonar on their ship or whatever it was. So you'd look at the picture from it's black and white and you can actually see him on the ship. It's huge. It's 83 feet. Not huge, but it's good size. It's big. 83 feet is good size.
Yeah.
And he's on the deck or whatever, like this tiny dot. You can see a bunch of them. And you can see that kind of like blurred out in the water sticking up from one of the towers of the ship, their radar or whatever that they basically took out just for confidentiality purposes. It's pretty cool.
So it was the USS Snake Eyes, is that the ship was called?
Yeah, it was pretty well known. It was
Yeah.
a pretty legit operation. So
Well, you think?
no, I'm just saying, like,
we say Francis Bacon.
I mean, he wasn't running up the beach, but he was in right there in the water dragging the bodies out. So
Right.
I mean,
France would be speaking German right now if we
Oh,
hadn't
yeah.
jumped in.
oh yeah,
Probably England too. If
Yep.
my history remembers properly, the Germans were trying to take over all of Europe.
oh yeah, they bombed the shit out of London.
Oh yeah, I remember. I've seen not video of it because there wasn't a guy out there with a cell phone, but seeing movies and stuff.
Oh yeah, if you go to London, there's actually a William Churchill museum right right, about a block away from Buckingham Palace that takes you underground and then shows all the operation, all the history, and all the areas that had been bombed. And it's pretty, like, London got bombed hardcore. Like,
Churchill, the prime minister.
yeah, Winston Churchill.
Yeah,
It's called the Churchill Rooms. So, like, it'll show all the war rooms and stuff that they had in the city underground, and it's pretty cool.
that's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. Listen, that's a whole different. I would definitely, without a doubt, without hesitation, serve our country and do what I had to do. But man, could you imagine being 17 and just that?
Well, to be fair, on D-Day he was 18. So,
Oh, all right, 18, whatever. Not
On
even old enough
D-Day.
to buy a beer
right.
or a pack of smokes nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Oh, his upbringing compared to anyone else, you would shit your pants. I mean, that's not even the half of it. So,
was so what did so your great grandparents
mm-hmm.
did they come to America or were they already here?
I believe my great great grandpa and grandma came here when they were like late teens or something, and essentially went through Ellis Island and
Where'd they
went to a
migrate
town
from?
and looked for a job in an apartment, and next day they were living there. And then I don't
Where did they migrate from?
the Netherlands.
And then they how did your family end up in Michigan?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. The weird thing, like, well, I know my mom's side better is just because I know where they landed, and like they had farms and stuff, and Byron Center, it was kind of rooted history. But like my dad's side, like they don't really talk that much about it, so they're just not quite as. I can trace the family tree back to my great great grandparents, but before that, it's kind of hard. And then, um, my grandpa and my great grandma, they in the 20s, or when he was born, 20s, 30s, his biological dad was not a nice gentleman. And because of that, she had to divorce him, which back then, early 30s, oh my god, they
Right.
like kicked her out of the church.
Yep.
He was essentially, he'd get drunk every night, bring home women, sleep with them in front of her, and then kick the shit out of both of them.
Terrible.
And then so she left him. And
Sure.
that so my grandpa's name wasn't even Huizinga going into World War II. That's not his biological last name, but essentially in the 30s she got remarried with someone with that last name, and he was a wonderful father, started a greenhouse with my grandpa, whatever. So going into the war, when they said, "What's your name?" it wasn't Arnie Lockney. He goes, Arnie Huizinga. That's my name now.
Oh.
And so 17 World War II, that's when my name started. So for us, so that's why when people are like, "Are you related to this person?" the answer is almost always no, because I was only the second blood generation of that name. And then,
No
over
relation
time,
no relation to Wayne, huh?
right, we're not even from the same bloodline, just because
Right.
my name came from a stepfather.
Stepfather, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
So
that's kind of that's the dirty history of that side. And nowadays you would accept it and you talk about it, but then when you combine that with like the war, there was not much to say on his end. He would not talk a lot, because think about that.
right. Well, I
Very
mean, a lot of
traditional,
people ask
conservative.
me, because I was adopted, so a lot of people ask me, well, why did your mom give you up? Do you know anything about her? Was she high school, whatever? No, she was 22 actually when she had me. But in 1968, a single mom was absolutely shunned.
Right.
And I don't know the whole story. Obviously, I never met her. She passed away in 93, so I didn't get to meet her. I've met her brother. We've talked. And he was young. He was young when I was, when I was born, so he doesn't really remember, but he knows his mother, my grandma, had a big hand in it and made sure that this baby wasn't staying with us. The baby's going away. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah, just different times. I
yeah.
mean,
Nowadays, I mean, kids are having kids and they then they teach their kids how to have kids, whatever. But it is what it
Well,
is.
that's pretty graphic, but
So, okay, so your grandparents. So this is what I find interesting. Like, so the Zakalux, my dad's parents, his mom and dad were from villages that were a couple miles apart. They didn't meet each other till they were on the ship coming over from Germany or Austria Galicia, it was called,
mm-hmm,
and they came over in 1900
mm-hmm.
from the Ukraine. They left for political and religious reasons, I guess. And they came to America, but a bunch of them came, a bunch of Zakalux came, and it actually the family tree splits. Some stayed in Jersey, and then the rest went to Canada. So I have cousins that I've never met, relatives, aunts, uncles that live in Canada, Saskatoon, and
Sweet.
I could have grown up in Canada.
You
I
should go
mean,
visit there.
what's that all about? Eh? No. Canada's very pretty. I just don't agree with their
I'm
politics.
sure that area is beautiful.
In the summer for about 3 months,
Right,
maybe,
right,
maybe
right,
2
right.
months. I don't know. I actually, so my physical therapist is from there. He told me the name of his town. I can't remember, but he grew up there, and his parents had a farm, and his brothers had farms, and he just didn't want to be a farmer. And they grew grain and everything, and I mean, he's telling me they were hunting since they were like 6 years old, because the elk and the moose and the deer just walk on their land, and there's food for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, sure, but he also says it, is -40 in the winter, and it's not anywhere I'd want to be.
No, of course not, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And he was
Like
showing me on
Alberta
the
and
map,
British
like
Columbia are right in the part of the Rocky Mountains right up there. It's crazy.
he was showing me on the map. So he was on the north side of Saskatchewan, and then from there is where it goes into like Never Land, like
Northwest
where
Territories,
the Northwest Territories, where just
Nunavut,
like
and then essentially, you're
hit
up into
Arctic,
the
Antarctica
Arctic
or
Circle.
Arctic. Is it the
Huh?
Arctic up there or Antarctica?
Arctic.
Arctic, yeah. Antarctica is the bottom. Arctic.
Yep.
Actually, Lorianne had a coworker who, a teacher who got a job in Alaska. It was come up, we take care of everything for you. Took her 3 days to get to the place because they had to fly in, then take another puddle jumper to another puddle jumper. Anyway, it was in the farthest region. She was closer to Russia than she was America.
I believe
So
that.
it was some fort up in northwest Alaska, like way, way up. And her apartment was actually in the school that she taught in. It was like a one schoolroom school. It had all the kindergarten through 12th grade in the same school, And and she's
Probably
like,
in the
there
Yukon
was
Territory.
sorry?
Probably in the Yukon Territory.
Yeah, there was times that she couldn't go outside because it was just so cold that you can't breathe. They're like, don't go outside. If you're not from here, don't go there. And they paid her very, very well, from what I understand. She only did it for a year, but that's crazy. I don't
you
know.
would have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably.
I think it was actually one of the territories or areas that was like, what do they call that? The 6 hours or 12 hours of darkness or whatever, or I don't know. It was dark in the winter all the
Yep.
time. Like the sun barely ever came up.
Anywhere up north.
It's not my cup of tea. Not my cup of tea at all.
No, it's weird because like in the summer it's actually awesome. Like,
yeah, it's still cold.
Right, I'm just saying, like, up north in general, the summer having been light out, let's say in Michigan, it's light out till 10. That's pretty awesome.
Yes. Actually,
But then the
in
winter
North
is dark
Carolina,
at
up
like
on the mountain,
4:35.
up in the mountain
Yeah.
in North Carolina, it stays pretty bright because it's 4,500 feet. So it stays daylight till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
But then the winter is worse, so it's just a different side of the pole.
Right. I would not want to
We're so much closer to the equator that our disparity or whatever you want to call it between seasons isn't as wide ranging as up north. So if you get down to like Aruba and the equator, it's like 7:30 about sunset year round. Just it never changes because
Right.
you're at the equator.
And it's the same temperature pretty much
Yep.
year round.
82 and dry,
Yeah.
82 and arid.
Unless you
Which,
live
by the
in
way, is pretty much perfect.
unless you like live in South America somewhere where you get the rainy season, the monsoons and stuff.
Sure, but like if you're right on the equator, Colombia or parts of Central America, Aruba, Curacao, I mean it's perfect weather. It's so perfect, it's ridiculous.
Then why doesn't everybody want to live there?
Well, because who wants to be part of that government?
No, how about Aruba? I don't know anything about Aruba's a British island, right?
No, Dutch.
Dutch. Okay. Okay.
But it would be fine. It'd be fine to live there, but like from a government standpoint, but just because the weather's perfect doesn't mean you'd want to live there. It's not very big, and it's not. I mean, you'd be bored within a month.
Do they have hurricanes in Aruba?
Rarely.
So they don't get hit like Puerto Rico or the Bahamas or Jamaica, I guess. Hey, no, Cuba. Cuba's the one that gets hit.
Cuba gets hit a lot.
Yeah. They kind of bounce it off Cuba before it comes to us. Well, I mean, I guess that's the trouble with living in paradise.
No, it's just doesn't mean you can do a whole lot.
No. And isn't Aruba the one there's no cars on the island? It's all like golf carts or
No, there's cars.
Oh, okay. Is it Barbados? One of them I thought there was an island that doesn't have cars.
There's parts of islands that have sandals resorts that are golf carts only. I'm sure you're right. There's one. I don't know what it is though, to be honest.
If the Disney cruise doesn't stop there, you don't know.
That's not true. I've been to a lot of islands without being on a Disney cruise.
Have you been to Fiji? And we lost Eric. Well, it's 7:30, so I guess we're going to wrap up. We lost Derek. Where'd you go, D-Rex? Where'd you go?
I just pounded out there for a minute. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but Fiji, no. I've been to Tahiti, Moorea, Bora Bora, and Raiatea, but those are, I think, northeast of Fiji a little bit, French Polynesia. But I want to go to Fiji.
Is that the one with the huts that have the glass bottoms on the
water? A lot
water?
of them are.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, my daughter's calling me. Well, it's 7:30.
All right, let's wrap.
Hold on, let me tell her to give me a minute. She's hilarious. Anyway, okay. So there you go, guys. That's our live show. Every Tuesday night, you will find us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Keep wanting to call it Twitter, but it's X now. Join us. Jump in. We had Mark jump in and say hi. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mark.
Check us out on all the socials. We're everywhere. I read them earlier. You can go back and watch and figure it out. But we do a live show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. And then Thursday, we do a recorded show that we get out Friday. That's our interview show. But until next time, I guess Derek already said goodbye, so we lost him. Anyway, we will see you on the flip side. Thank you all. Make sure you like, subscribe, send a message, whatever. We'll see you soon. Until next time, peace.